In a quiet village nestled between rolling hills, there lived a skilled carpenter named John. He was known for his fine craftsmanship, creating sturdy furniture that lasted for generations. His greatest joy, however, was teaching his son, David, the art of woodworking. Together, they worked in their small workshop, shaping wood into beautiful pieces. One morning, as John and David were finishing a table for the village mayor, a boy ran into the workshop, out of breath. "John, your horse has escaped into the hills," he shouted. John's horse was his only means of transporting wood from the forest and delivering furniture to customers. Losing it was a serious setback. The villagers gathered outside, shaking their heads. "What terrible luck," one of them said. "How will you manage without your horse?" John, wiping the sawdust from his hands, simply smiled. "Perhaps this is a misfortune, perhaps not. Only time will tell." The villagers exchanged puzzled glances and went about their day. A few days later, to everyone's astonishment, the horse returned, and it wasn't alone. A wild stallion, strong and majestic, had followed it back. The villagers rejoiced at John's unexpected fortune. "You are truly lucky," they exclaimed. "Now you have 2 horses instead of 1. John, as calm as ever, replied, "Perhaps this is a blessing, perhaps not. Only time will tell." David, excited by the new horse, decided to tame it. He had seen other young men riding wild horses and wanted to prove his skills. One morning, while John was carving a chair, David mounted the stallion. The horse, unbroken and untamed, reared up in fright and threw him off. David landed hard on the ground, breaking his leg. He cried out in pain as John rushed to his side. The villagers came running, their faces full of concern. "What a terrible misfortune," one of them said. "Your son will not be able to work for months." John, tending to David's injury, replied, "Perhaps this is a misfortune, perhaps not. Only time will tell." Days passed, and David remained in bed, unable to walk. Then, one morning, a group of soldiers arrived in the village. War had broken out, and the king's army needed young men to fight. Every household was required to send one able-bodied son. Families wept as their sons were taken away. When the soldiers reached John's home, they saw David lying in bed, his legs still healing. "He is of no use to us," one soldier said. "Let him stay." The villagers, now sorrowful, turned to John. "You are lucky," they said. "Your son was spared while ours must go to war." John nodded. "Perhaps this is a blessing, perhaps not. Only time will tell." Months passed and the war raged on. Many young men never returned, leaving their families heartbroken. David, now healed, resumed working with his father. Over time, he became an even better carpenter than before, helping John expand their business. One evening, as the sun dipped below the hills, David sat beside his father and asked, "Father, how did you always remain so calm? Whether it was bad news or good, you never seemed worried." John smiled and placed a hand on David's shoulder. "Life is like carving wood, my son. If you judge a piece too soon, you might think it is ruined, but with time and patience, it can turn into something beautiful. We do not always see the full picture, but everything happens for a reason." David nodded, understanding his father's wisdom. From that day on, he too learned to accept life's twists and turns with patience, knowing that only time would reveal their true meaning. And so, the village remembered John not just as a great carpenter, but as a man of wisdom, one who taught them that in every misfortune, there might be a hidden blessing, and in every blessing, a lesson to be learned.